Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Lounge Talk. Today, instead of coffee, I actually have water. It's in the afternoon when I'm filming it. So I already had my coffee in the morning, and if I had another cup of coffee now, I won't be able to sleep at night. I just noticed it recently. I have to buy some decaf coffee because who can do Bible study without coffee, right? But anyway, for today, I just have water. Okay, so today's verse is going to be, and I'm going to tell you the story. Wait for the story. But first thing you guys know, I try to read it from King James Version, which kind of is a little funny and interesting at the same time. Who knew Bible study could be fun? But I made it fun. So Bible study in your backyard. This is my backyard here. There's the barbecue machine that doesn't look machine anyway, barbecue, whatever, the device, machine, whatever. So I'm gonna read it, okay, and it might break my teeth, but it is Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 41:10. I think there's an I in the beginning. I'm not sure, or I think it starts from, actually, yeah, the other version, web version, World English Bible. I'm going to read after that over there. So I think it starts from fear. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. I just understood with the right hand of my righteousness. But anyway, that is King James Version. I should not be laughing, God, I'm sorry. I just put it over there. It's a little windy. Now, so the real thing, now we would understand with our normal English, it is the World English Bible, and this too doesn't have any copyright. That's why I read it from this, not from NIV and all of that, which could have copyright issue. Anyway, don't you be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Right? So we understand that. God is there. God is telling us not to be fearful. I'm adjusting my thing, the tripod, a little bit. So I will tell you how synchronicity, you call it synchronicity, coincidence, whatever you want to call it, you can call it that. For me, it is God's sign, and I have been having them for a long time now. You guys know my journey. I was Hindu almost all my life, and then followed Buddhism for a little bit, and then I became Christian. I even wear a cross. However, I am not a traditional Christian, and why I say that is because I encourage everybody to follow their own faith. Just follow it so deep that there is no question about it. And if Christianity resonates with you, follow that and learn more about that. For me, it was not in one way to say it, God chose me before I chose God, because I had a series of many unexplainable events, not one, not two, and they still keep happening. Some are small, some are big, that I couldn't deny anymore, and that's how I ended up choosing this path, because I feel like I was chosen, and then I chose this path. There was absolutely no denying, and sorry, I just had to make sure the thing don't fly off. So this one, the story is, and you may have seen on last Sunday, last was in the past, last Sunday, that I talked about the Chosen show, and how when I suddenly noticed that second time when I started it, I never watch any show or movie the second time. Something in me was like telling me to watch the show the second time, because also probably because I was learning these Bible verses, and not Bible verses, like the Bible in general, and I'm tying this with my life stories. I mean, just to learn in a way that resonates with me, and then I share it here, and I also tell you guys to share in the comments. And as I started watching the video, and I saw the little girl, which was Mary Magdalene in the beginning of the show, she was talking to her dad, and it reminded me how my dad, he died when I was 6 years old. That's a whole different story. He died a natural death, had a lot of impact in my life, which I didn't realize until a lot later. But anyway, he used to read Gita, which is Hindu Bible, Hindu scripture, you can say. And then he used to read on Sunday evening at the temple. He was not a priest; he had a regular job, but he used to do that to spread the message and help others to find moksha, which is like salvation in Christianity, and it's also called nirvana in Buddhism. Anyway, I know this because my Hinduism journey to Buddhism to Christianity. Anyway, so I had that déjà vu, is that what they call, like realization that, oh my god, now I am doing that without realizing, right? Like 5, 6, 7 weeks in, I've been doing this Bible verse and this, and then I'm sharing. I mean, my dad knew a lot more about Gita than I know about Bible, but the point is I was like, oh my god, Sunday morning when I'm doing it here, and it's like Sunday night in India, Sunday evening, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like I am on my dad's footstep without knowing. And that was like the big realization with that. And so that was that episode. Anyway, so this episode and this is also a strangest thing, that the first episode I watched it in 3 different intervals, because things kept happening. So I watched half of it the night before, and then yesterday yesterday I was watching again at like noontime for a little bit, and then it was in the middle of the episode. You will see that if you watch this show, middle of the episode, Mary Magdalene again remembers that. It kind of flashback. She remembers that from her dad. The verse they were talking about, she was afraid, and then her dad said, what do we do when we're afraid? And then they read this verse, right? And this verse is that, don't be afraid, I am with you, I am your God, and I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness, right? So I saw that. Anyway, I saw that again. That's great. And then in the evening, my daughter and I went to her therapist's office. So if you are going through divorce, I mean, it is good to have a therapist help your kid or kids, we have one kid, to navigate that journey of divorce, because for kids it's a lot. If you think it's a lot for you, for kids it's even more, because their whole world is changing. The world that they knew is completely changing. For us, we knew how life was single, right? So it is life shattering, it is life changing, but for them it is like real life changing, right? So her dad and I, both of us, we agreed on therapist help. So we give her that help, and we're grateful that she's pretty good, actually, the therapist. I mean, sometimes some are good, some are not, whatever. So I was there with her, and then we had a little challenging situation from previous time, and not with the therapist, but Alice and I. And we were sharing that with her, and then it was overall, without getting into too much details, because I can't go into too much details, it was challenging. And then and this is the part where the synchronicity, you call it what, it just gets crazy, I mean, in a good way. I was in a section of the office that I went out to the bathroom, and I was not supposed to get stuck, but I got stuck because there was nobody to open the door when I came back from the bathroom. And then I was there, and I was ringing the bell. Like, I had to ring the bell 3 times because the person who normally works there is not there. So nobody was coming to open the door, and I kind of got locked out. And it was their, like, sort of like a little reception area of that office, because there's multiple offices inside that big building. And so I stand there, I wait there, and they have like 4 or 5 different picture in there, different kind of arts and whatnot, different picture. And right in front of me where I'm waiting, here's the door, and here is this picture. And in this picture, this verse appears. Don't you be afraid, for I am with you. And I think they had the NLT version or something. It read a little different, but I checked, it was Isaiah 41:10. Whoo! I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Now, for you, you could think it is, it's just a coincidence. And these are the type of things that's been happening for so long for me. And if you're, it might be hard for you guys to find, but if you're watching this video, if you're interested, let me know. There was a video where I talked about Ezekiel, that Ezekiel thing where somebody, it was a 3 minutes video. I was talking about the Chosen show. I also say hot Jesus at the end because the guy who plays Jonathan Rumi on Chosen, I think it looks pretty hot, don't you think? I'm not asking the guys, I'm asking the ladies. Anyway, so like I said, who knew Bible study could be fun? It can be fun, life is short, let's have fun and enjoy. So anyway, in that video, if you go down in the comments, you will see somebody talking about different things about Bible, and she had some really, I think it's a she, I'm not very sure, but I just guess because she's a kitty picture on that. Anyway, so she gave me some ideas about Bible study since I'm new, and I really appreciated that. And then she talked about some Ezekiel verse 36, 37, and we were talking back and forth in the comments. And oh my God, this is crazy. And then that morning, I chose from 300 some videos. I manually chose that video for a sermon. It had the Ezekiel, that verse in there. You can talk about AI. I know AI because I'm in technology and I use AI all the time for all my different platforms and business things and stuff. It was not AI. I chose it manually. Same evening, there was an event and there was a kid. His name was Ezekiel. I have seen the kid before. I've seen the parent before. They have a name that usually call him with. I never knew his name is Ezekiel. That specific evening, they started calling him Ezekiel. I'm like, isn't that crazy? So anyway, there are small things. What I also tell people is that it's, if you think of physics or energy, and that's why I talk about that it is inclusive, it's not just about Christianity. If you think of it from different perspective, like if you think of physics or energy, the frequency, right? So if you're looking for the blue balls, and blue balls is a random example I use, so it kind of sticks to your mind. The blue balls, God, divine, universe, whatever it says, they are there. They are in that frequency zone. But one is you have to be open to see them, right? Otherwise, you won't even notice any blue ball. And second, you have to be on that frequency to see it. So let's say the blue balls exist only in this frequency level, the higher frequency, and you are here, you're feeling shame, guilt, and all of that with the divorce we talk about, right? But then here you are like joyful, you have the self-love, peace, inner peace, and all of that. And we don't always stay there, but the point is, like, let's say you are there, and then you notice those divine intervention that happens, right? So I saw that yesterday. It was pretty simple, but then there's a lot of other bigger things happen. So for this one, so that the episode doesn't get an hour long, I will keep it at that now. So not only that, I figured it's sort of, we call it divine idea or something, that I'm like, in my situation, and for all of you guys too, like we talk about divorce recovery and reinvention, right? It's not therapy, it's a reinvention. Why I said reinvention, it's all future focused, 80% future focused. Therapy is not bad, but therapy is very, like, they help you to process the past, but I feel like there's not much about future reinvention to talk about unless you are with the right therapist. So that's why this is so important, because the way I look at it is your chance of creating the life, reimagine your life the way you always wanted, in this new version, how you want it. There is no, life is not over yet, right? You can create it. Even today in LinkedIn, I commented on somebody's thing that Colonel Sanders, my God, I can't even say his name with my accent. Colonel Sanders. My God, I don't cut my things, so you will see all of that. That's the part of it. Like, I'm fully authentic. I don't believe in the cutting and putting polished and all of that. If you like it, great. If you don't like, there's plenty of channels. That's what I teach people too. Be authentic, be fully yourself. You don't have to be like, polish, whatever. So anyway, going with that thought, sometimes I talk too much. I know that, and so I end up losing my thought, train of thought. That happens, but I love to talk. I would encourage you guys too, because when you talk a lot, you laugh a lot, and life gets better. So where was I? Do you guys remember? I wish you guys could talk to me on the camera. If it was live, you would tell me, "Oh, you were there." So anyway, I think I kind of remember. So I saw that. Oh yeah. So I have all this happening, and I think because of the light, I'm kind of switching it a little bit. So I have all this synchronicity stuff happening. So I'm like, why don't I share this? And especially now that I do Bible study, I'm trying to see where the light and everything will be okay. So here, okay, this is good. I hope that it doesn't bother you guys. The barbecue machine that we never use. Excuse me. Someday. So the point is, oh my God, the light is really kind of going crazy. So the point is, reinvention. You will fall. I mean, here and there that'll happen. Like yesterday when it was challenging with my daughter with the co-parenting, and I saw that, I was like, I really felt like it was divine. God was saying that you are not alone, you can do it. I'm with you. I never had those kind of feelings before, right? Like, and I'm not telling you that if you are following Hinduism or other religion, you can't feel that, but maybe this is what meant for me. Maybe this is what was meant for me. And that's why I feel that the connection is so strong. It's the God's love. You cannot explain it. And I cried yesterday evening, and then after that, this idea, and that's where I was. That was my train of thought when I talked too much, and I forgot that. The God gave me the idea about sharing those synchronicities, right? Because a lot of people have them, but they don't talk about it. And I want you guys to talk about it. If it resonates, comment below, because so many people are suffering, especially after divorce, job loss. So many people are losing jobs and stuff. From your story, somebody else can get motivated, inspired, right? I have so many people telling me that they felt inspired with my story. Who knew, right? Because this didn't start as a business. This started as a survival guide, my own survival journey. Some of you guys who are following from the beginning, you know how I kept showing up every single day on YouTube. And I hear people that they get afraid of camera. Even today I was telling somebody, I was encouraging her to do the videos because she wants to do YouTube, Instagram, which is not afraid, but kind of probably that happens with everybody with the camera. But for me in this channel, after 1,300 videos, and I had 2 other YouTube channels 6 years ago, I feel like the camera is my friend. So anyway, keeping it real, because in the end, life doesn't have to be perfect. You just live every moment the way you can, the best you can. And when I see the signs, I feel so grateful. and all of it showing up, the how the three things showed up at night. I saw that, oh yeah, there was another one. I mean, these are just mind-boggling. I'm like, it can't be orchestrated in any other way other than divine intervention. So I saw it at night, I saw it at noon. I go there in the evening. I saw shows up in a place that where I kind of got stuck to, as if I was there to see it. And so at night when I go to bed, I usually listen to sleep meditation. At some point in the past, I used to listen to Buddhism related meditation or just regular sleep meditation from YouTube. But lately, I would say, I don't know, a year now. Year? Yeah, it'll be a year. No, actually, this is what, September? So less than a year, because I became Christian in December, but I kind of started, well, the synchronicity and all that started March of 2024. But I started going to the church and all that and started following more deeply, I would say, July, August time frame. And then yeah, so I do this meditation. I listen to Christian sleep meditation. So yesterday and that this is what, like, I can't tell you guys like how oh God. So I play this video once in a while. I play this, and sometimes some of the time I play it different. But there are some repeat ones that I play. So there is this one. It's called Soak Stream. The channel's name is, I think, Soak Stream, and is Promises of God. And it's like a 12-hour video. And I like that their videos are like 12 hours, so you don't have to kind of put them in repeat or something. Because a lot of time I just play them all night. They just go on low volume and they just play it all night, and which I didn't do ever anything in the past, like playing it all night. I would just play for 30 minutes or an hour and I'll sleep. But this kind of feels good. Anyway, that's not the story or the point. The point is, so that 12-hour video, because it is so long, so sometime when I wake up, it's like halfway, 75% or wherever. So next night, if I play the same thing, it starts again from there. But it never usually starts from the beginning, because I'm always, as I'm listening to it here and there, it kind of starts from those places, because I have the YouTube, the paid subscription or whatever, where it kind of remembers, it kind of bookmarks it. So yesterday, I start the meditation, it starts from the beginning, and the first verse, guess what, is that? The do not fear, I'm with you, and all of that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the third thing happening within 24 hours about the same verse. How is that possible? And I manually, not AI, decided to play that video because there are other options. I mean, there are multiple repeat options, and I chose that one out of those multiple repeat options, and it was not on that specific spot. It started from the beginning, because it doesn't always start from the beginning, because I listened to all of that previously, and it started exactly with that verse. I mean, how cool and how interesting is that? I can't put it into words, and you guys will see. I'll share more, because God shows up, and and that is why also I say to you guys that, follow your faith. If Christianity is your faith, follow so deeply that there is no doubt in your mind. You guys have heard, and I'm going to do an episode on that, the mustard seed faith, which is very popular. They talk about, if you have a faith of mustard seed, you can move a mountain. So last night a thought crossed my mind, what if your faith was like the mountain? Imagine that, right? If a mustard seed faith can move a mountain, what if your faith was like the mountain? What can it move? It can move everything. God can move everything. For you, if it is universe, can move everything. There are so many timeless stories in Bible, and you don't have to be Christian to read the Bible and understand and relate it with your life. And as I'm learning New Testament, I almost read through all, but I of course can't remember all of it. I mean, I know the stories, but the verses, I mean, I can't remember. But the Old Testament, I'm kind of learning more. And that's why you would see a lot of this I share usually are from New Testament. You'll probably see a lot of from the Old Testament as I keep doing it. I do it every week now, every Sunday at 10 a.m. And it's been amazing. The journey has been amazing. I can't tell you, my friends. It's like reinvention on a different level. It's like, you are in this level, you go to this, and I tell people who I coach, I mean, your lowest becomes your highest, and you can keep going. It's the frequency, the feeling good, and the awe you are at seeing all of this. It's like a different reality you live in, if it makes any sense. It is just, I mean, so many things used to bother me in the past about external validation and stuff like that. None of that bothers anymore. And it is, everything is between you and God, right? Everything is between you and God. And when you get to that zone, oh my God, life becomes so beautiful. Life becomes so beautiful, my friends. But some of it comes with practice, right? So if you don't practice it, you will fall off the wagon and you will see it. But when you notice it, you have to kind of come back to it. And it doesn't mean for you, it's Bible study for you, whatever that is that keeps you in that high frequency zone. Self-help is good, but I always feel that, not always, only recently after I got introduced to divine like the way I did, that self-help has a limitation. They talk about conscious, subconscious, and it stays literally there. There's another version of things, like a super conscious, which is connected to the universe, which is connected to God. And for me, it is God. For you, it could be universe, who made all, right? And now if you want to ask a question, with science and God, I mean, that's a discussion for another day, and this is also not for me. For me, it is simply some of the things I just don't know, so I'm exploring, learning, right? And for some, it's like they know, and that they would get into a controversy. I'm not here to get controversial. I'm here to remind myself to love one another how God said it, and to love God, because I felt God's love in a way that I can't explain, and I would want you to experience the same. And if you are an atheist, then it's a different story. I don't know your story, like why you are atheist. We won't dive into that because here we talk some sort of faith, because I think that to get to the super conscious, you need something beyond yourself. You need something that is greater than yourself, right? I mean, we as human beings, if you think of it, this universe, we are born. One thing we all have common is we are born, and then we live 50, 60, 100 years, and then we die. I hope you guys can hear me. There's like a fire truck going. My God, that is loud. I'm sorry for the people, whatever, something happened. I pray these days, I pray. So this is one interesting thing I actually learned from Norman Vincent Peale's book. I didn't learn from him because he died a long time ago. He was probably my grandfather's age, and he died a long time ago. So anyway, he has a book. He talks about praying, and in his book, from his book, I learned like how he would pray for people who he didn't even know. He would see them only one time. And believe it or not, I learned so much. This morning, I prayed for somebody on LinkedIn. I don't know her in person. And I see her showing up and doing her work. And I'm just so impressed. I wish I could help her more. And she has so much more potential than even what she does. And I just prayed to God that for her to see the potential in her. She's not even in this country. I have never met her. I just know her through LinkedIn connection. And I learned that from Norman Vincent Peale, his book. And if you didn't know, you learn one thing and that leads to another. So I listen to Joel Osteen's sermons quite a bit, and he's a controversial figure. I know some of you may not like it, but it is what it is. That is my authentic version. I tell you, for me, I learn from everybody. some of the crazy people you might think of right now, if you were thinking, I learned from them too. So there is good in everybody. You can always learn something good from, whoever you even disagree. So anyway, I like what all the miraculous thing that they have done to make so many people's life better. So Joel Osteen, he talks about, like, motivation, hope, and all of that. So I listened to a lot of his sermons, and his mom, like, one of the really miraculous story, and it is not about all his family. There's a lot of people, and he talks about, like, they're sitting there, and then he shares their miraculous story. So his mom had a terminal cancer, and then she was given only a few weeks to live, and then she lived 40 some years, 45 years or something after that, and she died, I think, last month when she was 91 years old. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, his mom and his dad, John Osteen, and her name was Dodie Osteen. They used to learn things from Norman Vincent Peale. So I learned about that like a few weeks ago, something I was reading or listening, and that's when I found out. I was like, wow, I mean, that is so amazing, because I read Norman Vincent Peale's book before, and then knowing that and how their positive, inspiring messages, and how in some way the motivation meeting faith and all of that, how their messages are all some, like, kind of, John Osteen's teaching was a lot inspired by Norman Vincent Peale's teaching. I don't know if he was a pastor, but he was something like that, clergyman, pastor, something like that. I don't know what clergyman even is, but the back of his book, I still have the book upstairs. But anyway, so what I was doing is, like, if you keep that open mind, especially when you're going through this reinvention journey. And why I share this is, last year at this time, life did not look this good. I'll tell you. I mean, I think the darkness was like, I started seeing the light because it was almost a year. I started seeing the light because before that, it was so dark. I didn't even know where the light is. So I kept walking. By then, the light started showing up, and I felt good. But now, as you guys know, it's been almost 2 years from the separation, and I'm in a place that I cannot tell you guys. I feel so grateful. I feel so grateful for the signs that God shows me. And they're there for you too. You just have to look for them. Look for the blue balls. Not literally blue balls, but you know what I mean. If you guys like for me to use a different color ball, let me know. But the point is so that it sticks in your mind, so that you remember what I'm talking about. It's amazing. It is amazing. So I have several more of this, which just yesterday, God gave me the idea. Why don't you share those stories on the Sunday Coffee Lounge, right? Because there are so many stories that goes with the Bible. So Bible has 32,000 Bible verse, 32,000 Bible verse. Out of that, I think about 24,000 in the Old Testament, and the remaining 7,000 or 8,000 in the New Testament. And I know this because I'm like, for some reason, I have obsession with numbers. Sorry, obsession with numbers. I gotta drink some water. I love math, absolutely love math, and maybe that's why I had the obsession with numbers. And I'm pretty good with my financial stuff too, so that comes from math. Anyway, I don't know why I'm bragging. Sorry, God, I shouldn't be bragging. It was not brag. It just came out. Anyway, you guys know me by now. I just keep it real. Anyway, so so God gave me the idea that there are so many Bible verses as I'm learning and I'm going through the life situation, and there are a lot of materials about how to get over from the divorce and all of that, the therapy and whatnot, but the reinvention stuff, there was not enough stuff, and that's why I made this channel. And there's a meetup group now, there are books that I'm writing, And but the next thing is for the kids, and it also gave me the thing that, you know, that is a part that I'm still learning, right? When kids are born, they're not born with a book, so you figure out same thing when divorce happens, and the kids, you go through that cycle, is that the extra challenges that not many people know. And because each divorce is very different and the kids situations are also different, that in itself is challenging, not only challenging for you but challenging for the kids. So you can take them to therapy and all of that, but again, remember that, like reinvention, when I talk about, when I coach somebody, I say that if I'm coaching you, maybe I'm spending an hour with you a week, remaining 6 days and longer, you are in your own head. Same thing with the kid, right? You take your kid to the therapist to talk to them, but the rest of the time they're battling those thoughts, right? Kids think too, and not probably, they don't think as crazy like us, because we are 95% on the subconscious, which drive us to the negative, and we live in fear. But thankfully, I don't live in fear as much. Today actually I turned my fear into fun. That's what all this business is about. Is like, fun is the foundation of this business. So it was mind blowing for me. I mean, I can't tell you guys, to see this show up on The Chosen the second time, which I was not even supposed to watch. I saw it twice, the verse. I go there and I see it in my daughter's therapist's office. At night, I play the meditation, which I manually choose, and it starts from a place which is also in some sense like not automatically done by AI, says the same verse. I mean, how coincidental, or how synchronicity? I mean, how it has to be all coincidental. So anyway, many more stories, my friends, I know, because God keeps showing me the signs. And if none of this resonates with you, I would request not to, comment. Because there are many channels out there. Comment only if this resonates with you. You don't have to be Christian. You can be from any faith. You can even be atheist. But the whole point is how this verse, Isaiah 41:10, resonates with you, right? That is what, like, when you share your story, you never know who it is going to impact in a very good way. Haven't it happened for you? Like, hasn't it happened for you that you saw a post or a comment, right? A good comment or a good post that almost changed something really deep within you. Also, it happens from something bad, some bad comment. If bad can happen, good can happen too. So I urge you to share your story. Anything that you can share publicly. Of course, you don't have to give too much details. You never know who you are going to inspire, right? Also, you can start your own channel with Bible study, right? And I'm going to go live on this Bible study, doing that maybe once or twice around Christmas. So look out for that. And it'll be fun, because on the call, we can talk about it together. So with that, I'm going to finish the video, and take care. Come back next Sunday. Also, there is a weekly series, Wisdom Wednesday, on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Other than that, there is daily reinvention short at 12 p.m. There are lots of different reinvention we talk about. Reinvention, midday reset from work, related to relationship, and one day challenges, a lot of fun things there. So I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.